Take a look at this system memory status bar. It shows exactly 150 megabytes of total free memory currently available. Now, a new application launches. This process requests a single continuous block of exactly 80 megabytes. But instead of sliding into that ample free space, the request is rejected. The system throws a stark red out of memory, or OOM, exception. An OOM exception is a fatal error state, where the operating system halts a program because it cannot provide the physical RAM requested. This presents a mathematical paradox. The machine has 150 megabytes of total capacity, yet it cannot fulfill a request for barely half that amount. When developers encounter this state, the first instinct is to hunt for a memory leak or a coding error. But there is no bug here. This failure is a strict architectural limitation built directly into how operating systems manage hardware. To keep multiple programs running at once, an operating system relies on dynamic memory allocation. Dynamic memory allocation is the real-time process of granting physical RAM to applications when they need it and revoking it when they close. As the system performs thousands of these grant and revoke cycles over time, the physical layout of the memory breaks down. Distinct failure states emerge where perfectly good system resources become permanently stranded. To understand why a machine with available RAM refuses to run your code, we have to look at the mechanics of two specific states, internal and external fragmentation. Diagnosing these two fragmentation states explains exactly why our low-level systems inevitably crash, even when they appear to be entirely resource-rich. This clean horizontal ribbon represents physical RAM. Right now, it is a linear, blank continuum capable of storing data. Historically, systems used variable-length contiguous allocation. Here, the operating system grants memory blocks that exactly match the specific byte size requested by a process. Watch as three sequential processes, A, B, and C, make requests. They load directly onto the ribbon as distinct blocks, mapped sequentially and sitting perfectly flush against each other. But processes operate on independent timelines. Process B finishes its task and terminates, returning its memory to the system and leaving a vacant gap between A and C. Next, Process D launches. It needs slightly less memory than the gap B left behind, so the OS drops it into that space. Because D is smaller, a tiny unused sliver of free space remains locked between D and C. Multiply this mechanic over time. Imagine thousands of background processes and applications continually starting and stopping. The memory's physical layout rapidly deteriorates, becoming a Swiss cheese of scattered gaps with tiny slivers of free space trapped between active data. This specific deteriorated state is called external fragmentation. The defining trait of external fragmentation is that the total aggregate free memory is technically sufficient for a new task, but no single gap is large enough to contain the requested block. Look at the math. If you sum all those isolated tiny gaps, you might have 50 megabytes of free space, but the largest single gap between any two active processes might only be 2 megabytes. If a program asks for 3 megabytes, the operating system is forced to reject the request. External fragmentation creates a mathematical illusion of available memory. The system reports plenty of free space, but the physical arrangement renders large portions of RAM entirely useless for heavy computational tasks. You might wonder why hardware cares if space is split up. It comes down to strict address requirements of low-level data structures, like C-style arrays. A C-style array is a basic programming structure that stores a fixed-size sequential collection of elements of the same type. By definition, an array must occupy a continuous sequence of physical memory addresses. Watch as this large array block attempts to overlay onto our highly fragmented memory ribbon. The allocation fails immediately. The array's contiguous pointer logic physically cannot bridge across the physical gaps of fragmented data. The logical engineering counterargument is simple. Why doesn't the operating system just slide the active memory blocks together to consolidate the free space? The answer is extreme CPU overhead. Physically moving active memory blocks during execution is computationally expensive. To shift data, the operating system would have to completely halt all execution. It would then need to recalculate and update every single memory pointer in the system to reflect the new physical addresses. Real-time RAM defragmentation causes severe performance freezes. Because consolidating space on the fly is computationally prohibitive, external fragmentation remains a fatal, unsolvable flaw for variable-length contiguous allocation architectures. To bypass external fragmentation, modern computing relies on a strict architectural solution known as paging. This diagram shows how paging abandons variable-sized requests entirely. Instead, it divides physical memory into rigid, uniform blocks, universally standardized at 4 kilobytes. Under a paged system, external fragmentation is mathematically impossible. Any free 4 kilobyte page is identical and perfectly interchangeable with any other. But consider what happens when a process requests an imperfect allocation size, say exactly 5 kilobytes. The operating system distributes memory in strict 4 kilobyte increments. To satisfy 5 kilobytes, it allocates 2 full pages, locking down 8 kilobytes of space. Mapping the active data, the first 4 kilobyte page fills completely. The second 4 kilobyte page fills with only 1 kilobyte of active data. That leaves exactly 3 kilobytes of empty space, trapped entirely inside the second allocated page. This specific trapped space is called internal fragmentation. Even though this slack space contains absolutely no data, it is permanently locked to the active process. It remains strictly inaccessible to the rest of the operating system until the entire 8 kilobyte allocation is released. To solve external fragmentation by enforcing rigid boundaries, the system accepts a mandatory structural tax. Wasted space is imposed on almost every imperfectly sized memory allocation. Look at this direct comparison between the two memory management paradigms. External fragmentation strands variable amounts of memory between distinct allocations. Internal fragmentation strands fixed amounts of memory within the rigid boundaries of an allocation. Low-level system design is a zero-sum choice between these two failure states. Modern operating systems, including Windows, Linux, and macOS, rely almost exclusively on paging and virtual memory. The engineering rationale for preferring paging over contiguous allocation comes down to risk management. The waste generated by internal fragmentation is highly predictable. The loss is strictly capped at fractions of a kilobyte per allocation. Compare that to external fragmentation, which guarantees volatile, catastrophic system halts and fatal OOM errors over time. Engineers consider the constant loss of fractional kilobytes to internal slack space a mathematically acceptable cost of doing business. Modern operating systems do not eliminate memory waste. Instead, they architect systems to choose predictable internal inefficiencies, ensuring that the machine maintains absolute system